Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you the book Principles by Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates. He was born in an ordinary middle-class family in Long Island, New York. At the age of 26, he founded Bridgewater Associates in his own two-bedroom apartment. After 42 years of development, Bridgewater Associates ranks fifth on the list of America's most important private companies. He was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world and entered the top 100 richest people in the world according to Forbes. Because his unique investment principles changed the fund industry, the US CIO magazine called him the Steve Jobs of the investment industry. So what principles does he talk about in the book? And how can these principles enlighten us? Let's first look at the life principles part. The core idea of these principles is that we should take a rational attitude towards life. But often, our thinking and behavior are easily influenced by subjective emotions and ignore objective facts. To become the master of life, Dalio makes the following suggestions. First, maintain an extremely open cognitive attitude. Be aware of your own cognitive blind spots. Don't stick to your own opinions, and be ready to absorb a variety of views to broaden your horizons. Second, examine your own life with a scientific perspective. Transform subjective feelings into objective data for recording and analysis. Avoid staying at the superficial level of sensory cognition. Third, embrace reality, not be limited by subjective assumptions. Reality is far more complex than our subjective imaginations. We need to humbly listen to others' views to correct our own cognitive blind spots. Fourth, think more about the other's perspective and put yourself in others' shoes. Different people have different perspectives. We have to step out of our own perspective and put ourselves in the position of others. Fifth, discard unnecessary self-esteem and recognize your own strengths and weaknesses. Successful people also have their own weaknesses, but they know how to leverage their strengths. Through these principles, we can train ourselves to take a more rational and comprehensive perspective on life, rather than being confined by narrow subjective emotions. Next, let's look at the work principles Dalio shared in the book. The core of the work principles is best idea wins. For a successful organization, the key is to choose the most reasonable and scientific solutions, not to just listen to whoever has the highest position. To achieve this, Dalio implements a believability-weighted decision-making mechanism at Bridgewater Associates. Simply put, in decision-making, give different employees' opinions different weights. The level of the weight depends on the employee's believability in the relevant field. This ensures both the democracy and quality of decision-making. Another important work principle is radical transparency. Dalio requires employees to express their ideas frankly and directly, forbidding talking behind each other's backs. Meeting contents must be recorded. This can reduce office politics and ensure efficient information communication. In addition, Dalio also emphasizes individuals taking the initiative to evolve. He believes that both successful and ordinary people have flaws. The difference lies in successful people's ability to leverage their strengths and evolve into better versions of themselves. To complete the evolution, it is most important to maintain an open mindset and overcome obstacles like self-esteem, daring to accept criticism from others. Of course, this kind of radical transparency culture also has negative effects. Many employees complain that the communication between colleagues is too blunt or even rude, which also leads to high turnover at Bridgewater. But Dalio believes this culture is a necessary condition for achieving best idea wins. Finally, Dalio came up with the principle of principles. He believes that true principles must be built on self-reflection of mistakes. We need to become professional mistake makers and draw lessons from every mistake, turning those lessons into principles that guide our future lives. To form your own principles, the most important thing is to learn to record thinking and transform emotional experiences into rational contemplation. Dalio himself developed an app to record every mistake he has ever made. We can also learn from this approach to build our own principle system. Well, this summarizes the main content of principles. Dalio provides many highly original successful thinking methods. These principles are also enlightening for ordinary people like us. Of course, we shouldn't copy them blindly, but should adopt the appropriate parts based on our own situations. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And remember to subscribe to stay updated with future videos.